Testing. 1, 2, 3. All right, let's get this party started. Good morning, y'all. This is Ned over at My Philippine Dreams. N to the E to the D over at MPD. Oh, look, there's the dead puppy video photograph. Over here in Dumaguete City, the city of gentle people, Negros Oriental. Area code 6200 for those trying to get a hold of my fan club. Today is Thursday, September 27th. 2017, the year of our Lord 2017, the first day of the rest of our lives. Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. That's why they call it the present, so try to make the most of it. Welcome to the Philippine Dreams bi-monthly subscriber comment and question livecast. I've kind of changed things up a bit. We'll be getting into that. Where I regularly attempt to make half-hearted efforts to respond to viewer comments and answer your questions, mostly with made-up answers, because that's how I roll. The live stream's comment section should be open. Ask questions, goof around, but just try to keep it somewhat respectful and civil. If you're going to be a dickweed, you're going to get pulled, as in banned, as in come back next week with another anonymous username. Let's check to see that we're actually live here. All right. John B says he doesn't see anyone. That's okay. I don't see anyone either. Seems we got 19 watching right now, so I'll try to keep it going. This week I'll be talking Taco Bell, not taking vlogger advice, difficulties in finding quality hand lotions, the glorious realities of life in the third world, and Golden Rich talking about just how boring my videos are. But first, this week's corporate sponsor. This week's corporate sponsor is Chasing Your Philippine Dream, an expat's guide to the Philippines, covering nearly every possible topic of preparing and surviving long-term life in our happy little island archipelago. The book comes with a 100% money-back guarantee. If you are not completely satisfied with your purchase, shoot me an email and I will gladly, if somewhat sadly, refund your money. God's honest truth. In all the years that I've been selling the book, it's been up on my website, I've only had one request for a refund, and that was because the guy actually thought that it was an actual physical book. This is an ebook. It's an electronic book. It's in PDF format. It's got a bunch of photos. And it's around 460, 450 pages. Most of it is actually useful. Some of it's not. So yeah, the 450-page ebook is pretty damn good. And for $10.95 USD, and it's an absolute bargain. It is both tepid and sulit. You can find the link to the book down in the video description box. Let's check the stream again, make sure this thing is still working. So this is coming to you in glorious half HD 360p courtesy of PLDT. I got the 8 megabit plan. That's about the best we can get here. So if you're experiencing buffering issues, it's not actually my incompetence that's causing it. It's just the slow internet. Lucas Jeanson notes that he misses Taco Bell. Yeah, there's a lot of people missing Taco Bell nowadays. We'll be getting into that in a little bit. Julio Rodriguez, hi Ned, it's your Boston friend. Check your email. I emailed you. I arrived in Cebu. Hope to hopefully meet for lunch. Hey man, I remember you. Yeah. Michael Clark is at Nicanor right now. That reminds me of the day. Remember So Yummy Kaya? So Yummy Kaya's videos. I think he took all his videos down, but he was the reason that I came to Dumaguete, and he stayed at Nicanor. All right, let's get into this. So what I'm going to do, because all these live casts get demonetized and I'm not making any money, on them, every 2 weeks I'm going to do a This Week in the Philippines, where I talk about local news events and occurrences and going-ons that could affect expats living, retiring, working, doing anything in the Philippines. And on alternating weeks, I'm going to be responding to comments and questions from subscribers to make my life a little bit simpler. Yeah, like I said, YouTube hates my live casts. I haven't had one yet that's passed the demonetization appeal. If you get demonetized, you can appeal it, and they send more robots to go check it out. So if you want to support the ongoing efforts of this channel, you can support us on Patreon if you want. And when I say us, I mean me and Angel. because she goes through a lot of dog food and chicken bones. And again, continued thanks to everybody who has supported this channel. It is sincerely appreciated. Don't forget that Philippine Dreams is now an open channel. If you are a smaller channel and are looking for free promotion, shoot me an email at myphilippinedreams@gmail.com. This applies to both foreigners living in the Philippines and native Filipinos. If you're a musician, part of a dance crew, possessed of beautiful travel vlogs, knowledgeable on Filipino culture, traditions, mythology, avid snorkeler or scuba diver with cool videos of getting chased by sharks, I mean, just about anything or anything to do with the Philippines, this offer is for you. Same applies to my website. If you want to write a guest article on your experiences, misadventures, or expectations of living in the Philippines, just let me know. In short, Philippine Dreams is no longer my channel, it's our channel. Note that I will have the final say on what does and does not get posted. Got to try to maintain some semblance of quality. Patreon, I am on Patreon. If you found what I do to be of some value, consider supporting the ongoing efforts on my Patreon site, www.patreon.com/Philippine Dreams. Again, the link is down in the video description box. You guys know that I like giving away free stuff. Every week that I do my live cast, I give away 2 free copies of my ebook. Oh, and thank you to Chasing Your Philippine Dream and Expat's Guide to the Philippines for being our corporate sponsor. You guys rock. So I give away 2 copies of my free ebook, Chasing Your Philippine Dream and Expat's Guide to the Philippines. Last week's trivia question was, and if you guys want a free copy of the book, you should probably type in myphilippinedreams@gmail.com in your email client right now, because we're going to have another trivia question. Last week's trivia question was, this former professional wrestler was probably one of the greatest heel, witch's claw, bad guy commentators of all time. Teamed up with his face partner, face of the good guys, Gorilla Monsoon, this lifetime entertainer just passed away this past week at the age of 72. The correct answer was, of course, Bobby the Brain Heenan, and Tim W. and Doug the Painting Guy were both sent a free copy of my ebook, Chasing Your Philippine Dream and Expat's Guide to the Philippines. This week's trivia question, here we go. And if you're Filipino, please don't get offended at this. Every nation is guilty of these weird behaviors that we all do. Filipinos, this is the trivia question, Filipinos, like people of all nations around the world, are at times guilty of some decidedly odd behaviors. This week's trivia question is, what is the first thing a good number of Filipinos do after stepping off of an escalator or an elevator? And keep in mind that there are probably like 2 possible answers to this question. And the first 2 people to email the name of this odd behavior to myphilippinedreams@gmail.com and get a free copy of my book, a $10.95 value at any of your local book retailers. Checking the live stream, make sure we're still functioning here. All right. My Johnson is back. That place is a racket. They charge you to enter the country and leave the country. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, what they did now is I think they incorporated the travel tax when you leave into the actual cost of the ticket. All right, first comment that we're checking out here. Jason Rougeau noted on my Honda Click update video, and I'm glad people appreciated that video, although I made a couple mistakes, a couple blunders in it. He asks, so do chicks in the Philippines prefer young, handsome, attractive men with muscles and a male stripper physique, like women in any other country, or do they tend to prefer the older, more mature men? Just kidding, dude. Keep up the nice work. The answer to your question is yes and yes. Thanks, Jason. Next comment comes from Peter Van Dever. Peter Van Dever notes on the Girls Got Flair video, hi Ned, one thing I can't stand about the Philippines is the near total lack of Taco Bells. Well, that and the lack of quality hand cream in the Philippines. All the stuff that they sell here has all that whitening stuff in it, which makes one palm a lot whiter than the other. Thanks and keep up the great work. Yeah, we don't have a Taco Bell in Cebu. I think there's one in Davao. Got one in Cebu. I mean, Dumaguete. Dumaguete doesn't have a Taco Bell. It's not exactly, the penultimate culinary fast food experience, in my opinion. There's been some problems with their food. So, but I do know that they got free Wi-Fi. A lot of them have free Wi-Fi, and you can hang out there. Um, and as for the hand creams, yeah, there's a lot of whitening stuff in the body lotions here. But it's so humid here. I can't really see yourself needing too much hand lotion. But I appreciate the comment. Thank you, Peter. Next comment comes from Milton Wadams, and he actually left a boatload of comments. And this is his comment on giving money to the family. I've read hundreds of comments. No wonder in the provinces there are so many work-age people who have no work but are spending money every day. Their daughters married foreigners and are sending money back home, This screws up the country as a large portion of the population just sits around doing nothing. Don't send money to Filipinas' families. People need to survive by using their own wit. Yes, there are some people that pay their girlfriends or wives allowances, but I think that happens a lot around the world. I've never had to do that as of yet. As I get older, I probably will. But as for people having to survive using their own wit, pulling themselves up by their own bootstraps, if you are fortunate to be born in a Western nation, your ability and capacity to earn decent money and have a good life is a lot better than it is in the Philippines or a lot of other places in the third world. And there's a number of reasons for that. You got the corruption that's in the government. It's basically an extractive system where, they're paying to get elected and then they got to recoup the money that they spent out. Also, with all the business dealings, there's a lot of corruptions. That's why a lot of these Korean businesses are saying they're pulling out. There's a shortage of widespread quality education, secondary, tertiary education system, lack of infrastructure projects, and when they do an infrastructure project, they talk about building a bridge from Cebu to Bohol, which is kind of strange. There's a huge lack of employment opportunity to make good money, so the Philippines sees a good bit of a brain drain. There's also a low wage system. The minimum wage, around here is like $6 or $7 a day, which isn't all that much. And that's why when I start getting upset about customer service at restaurants and stuff, I got to remind myself, hey, how hard would I be working for $6 or $7 a day? You also got a fast increasing population. The good thing that's going on, you got the OFWs, a lot of families, they're sending $26 billion a year back into the economy here. A lot of families got relatives working overseas. You also got the call centers and the business product outsourcing stuff, the BPOs going on, which this past year almost equaled the amount of money that's being sent into the company from OFW. So that's improving the quality of life. And you're seeing more Filipinos going to Jollibee and McDonald's, the middle class. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons for that. But don't ever, and a lot of people tend to get this mindset that Filipinos are lazy, they're shiftless, and they're just going to depend on other people for money and all that stuff. All you got to do is drive down the highway during any blistering hot day, and you see all the guys out there working on the road crews, building roads basically by hand, pouring the concrete, leveling it out, painting the stripes, doing all that stuff. Look at construction sites. These guys are doing 10-hour days out there, 6 days a week. Sometimes building sites are going on 24 hours a day. And they work hard for what they got. And also you got all kinds of other crazy stuff like, natural calamities, blasting the country, insurgencies, rebellions, terrorism, all that stuff. Let's check out the stream. Make sure we're still here. Dun, dun. My Johnson. Yeah, the Expat scan in the Philippines. Randall Brown notes that high school education only gets you a job at Robinson. Actually, if you talk to a lot of the dongs and dies working at Robinsons and retail outlets like that, a good number of them actually have college degrees. sounds like peso this morning was 50.89. Yeah, I actually exchanged the other day because I'm trying to get that drone, and it was like 50.7 or something I got, which is really good because when I first got here it was 44. Neighbor Bob says it's at 51.05. All right, save up those centavos. All right. Evil Aloe. Hey, Evil Aloe, you're in this. Hold on, we're going to continue on. We're continuing on. Let's actually get to Evil Aloe. Evil Aloe noted one day ago on my Honda Click update video. He responded, he commented, full face helmet, because I was talking about the full face helmet I wear. I am not sure. I am sure it was a custom made, considering. Nah, I won't go there. Nope. Now, nope. So what Evil Aloe must be referring to are my full bee-stung lips, which are hard to fit in a full face helmet, because I don't actually think he's evil enough to be referring to my overly large proboscis, which actually serves me very well in the Philippines. Thomas Quinn, also on the Honda Click video, he noted correctly, because I was wrong, he said wrong on the panic stop. Up to 75% of a vehicle's weight is transferred forward in a panic stop. The front brake is the go-to guy, and it should be applied as much as possible in an emergency, but not so hard as to lock the front wheel. The rear brake provides very little real stopping power. Yeah, because on most bikes here, most scooters and stuff, you see the disc brake in the front and the drum brake in the back. The drum has a lot less power than the disc, obviously. But what the combi braking system in the Click does is it basically, when you jam on the brakes, because in an emergency situation, most people are just going to jam them on, lock it up. It equally distributes the power between the front and the rear wheels, the rear brakes, and it helps you there. So Thomas Quinn, I was wrong. You are correct. Thank you for correcting me. And I went back to the article I did over on my website, and I also corrected it. Because what I did was I actually misspoke. I actually confused them both. Golden Rich is here. And he noted also on the Honda Click video, what a boring video. Thanks, Golden Rich, and don't ever change. Jeff Lamb, and this refers to not taking our advice. He noted on the Honda Click update video, I am very happy that I did not take Henry and your advice and buy a scooter. I rented one first and I hated it. Skinny tires, very unstable at speeds of 50 kilometers per hour, and plastic. They are, however, perfect for a girl that weighs less than 150 pounds and just wants to zip around town. But most scooters are a girl's bike. And there was actually a couple guys that referred to this. Just keep in mind that Henry and I generally aren't giving out advice. We're basically just passing on our experiences here in the Philippines. We're not experts. As for most scooters being girls' bikes, that is, I think it's more along the lines of people being conditioned to believe that. We're told and we experience certain things over our life, and there's certain expectations that we have. Like big guys, real men are supposed to have big bikes with loud exhausts and Harley Davidsons and vests and all that stuff. But most scooters in the Philippines that I've seen, and we're talking about the automatic scooters here, not the underbones, are actually owned and driven by men here. Real men with beastly scooters decked out with orange safety flags, thumb-driven bells, and the occasional set of training wheels. We're real men, man. Don't ever doubt that. Going back to the comments. Raymond says, I can stay 364 days without renewing my visa. What do you got, Balikbayan? Balikbayan privilege? Lucas Johnson says, yes, Filipinos love our Western long noses. Yeah, it's a detriment in the West, but it works to your advantage here. Philly in the Philippines says, what about the expats that scam the Filipino? I'm not sure what you mean. But I'll tell you what, Philly in the Philippines, he actually sent me a message on Facebook, because there's these guys that are using photos, thumbnails of like me, Henry, Seth, and making up these fake usernames and basically going around to certain channels and leaving inappropriate comments. Yeah, the thumbnails look like us. The names of the channels actually resemble ours or are exactly the same thing. If you want, what you can do is report them for impersonation. You just go to their channel, you click on the little icon there, and you can report them for impersonation and get them taken down. Evil Aloe, I'm not talking to you. You insulted my nose. But I'll tell you what, make me an offer, man. If the price is right, I'll come on. But actually, if you go to my website and contact us, my business manager's there, and you can contact him. But the price is going to be higher. Ah, okay, Raymond is on a Balik Bayan. Moving forward. Crazy Eddie on Facebook asks, "Hey Ned, have you seen that movie yet with the scary clown who was running around scaring people to death?" To which I replied, "No, I don't really like to watch political documentaries, especially ones about Donald Trump. You know, I know the documentary is out and everything, but I'm not going to watch it because I'm sure it's all based on fake news from the lamestream media. So no, I haven't seen it. And I'm probably not going to watch it. All that libtard freaking propaganda." All right, 8-bit time traveler. This is an interesting one. "If my best friend had told me what I saw in the Philippines, I would have taken him for a fat liar. So much the mentalities of people who live there are primitive. I didn't know much about this country. What I saw there was absolutely chaotic. I was scratching my head everywhere. My eyes were looking at because I could not understand how things were organized and how people were behaving. For example, every 300 to 500 meters, there were some few weird-looking guys wearing T-shirts on their heads like ninjas who were sitting down on a table with big jugs of liquid right on the side of the road. At first, I thought they were selling tuba. I was wondering what the heck was going on and why. I learned later that these guys were illegally selling some gas to drivers, but they add some water in their gas to increase the quantity and the profit, LOL. So why the hell are they doing it if it's illegal, and why the cops do nothing about it? And who the hell is buying something that has water in it? This is something I will never know." All right. So yeah, it's a bit of a shock when you first get here, right? I think we've all experienced that, going around, seeing how things work. Sometimes don't work. Sometimes work differently, far differently than everything we've ever experienced in our experiences. But hey, and 8-bit time travel is going to return in a little bit. Sam Stewart noted on the last live cast I do on the entire police force fired. He says, "If you believe the police were fired, you are part of the problem." Okay, so you guys remember the live cast from last week? There was that entire police department that was allegedly fired, and that's how the news reported it. They said they were fired, but basically what they're going to do is be suspended, retrained, and reassigned. Some people are saying that President Duterte might be sending them down to Mindanao like he did the last batch of officers that were caught doing dirty deeds. I'm not sure how that's going to happen. What I do is I just report it as it is. I try to stay as close to the primary source from where I got my information, and that's what they were all noting. Moving on. Aaron Wilson on Skype Messenger sent me a message, and he said, "Ned, thanks for the advice on getting my transgender wife to the United States. We have actually filed the K-1 visa and plan on getting married in my hometown of San Francisco. Hey, do you know if Lazada offers anything other than Durex condoms? I hate them as they lack sensitivity and are much too big for me. They keep falling off." Well, congratulations on getting the K-1 visa filed. I hope that works out for you. As far as Lazada and condoms, I've never ordered them from there. I do see that mostly it's Durex condoms here, though. So thanks for that, Aaron. Also, Aaron is a longtime subscriber and a dear friend of the channel. Love you, man. Take care. Ken Heineman notes on the entire police force fired in the livecast video. "Love your videos, but do change the pictures. I do try to change them every week. because I got like 4 folders that I use of photos to try to change it up and everything. Randall Brown says, did not see anybody vape in the airport, and I just got back a month ago. Must be referring to something else. Yeah, I think you can't vape in the airports anymore. You got to go into the smoking section. So when you're trying to quit and you're trying to vape, and you go into those smoking booths that they have in all these international airports. Woo, that's rough. There was something else. Okay, Neil Byrne asks, hey Ned, why do Filipinos get upset when you talk about corruption? You might have seen a video I did on amor proprio, which is like love of self. It's basically ego, having a healthy ego, feeling good about yourself. And hiya, which is shame. These are parts of the culture that have carried over. It also happens on a macro level. They simply don't like when you talk poorly about their country because it's violating the national amor proprio. And, I mean, Americans are more guilty of this than anybody else, I believe. If you talk badly, especially if you're not from the United States, you say anything bad about America or American policy, they see, you know, the American national amor proprio being violated, and they go ballistic. And don't tell me I'm lying, don't tell me I'm wrong, because it's absolutely true. We're so sensitive. Americans are a bunch of snowflakes. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, the only BB Bruiser. Sorry I'm late. Yeah, if you're one of those channels, I'm just going to block you, man. Oh, yeah, and guys, I mean, the internet's great and stuff. There's a lot of good resources, a lot of good information being out there. You can see it, you can watch it. You don't have to pay for it, so it's basically free for you. Some of us do get, you know, a small amount of AdSense for our work. But when you see fake accounts, and they're obvious when they're fake accounts, of myself, of Henry, of Dave Phelps, of Seth from Says Style, anything like that, do yourself and do the internet a favor and just report them for impersonating other channels, because basically what they're going to do, they get blocked on our channels if we note them, but they're just going to go to other channels, smaller channels usually, and do their madness until they get blocked and their true colors show. Got to have accountability and responsibility, man. This whole Kardashian attitude about people living without consequence, it's got to end at some point. Jerry Gamboni says, Ned, how good are you on your guitar? Notice it behind you. I'm not good at all, man. I'm not good at all. It just sits there and gathers dust, but it's a good backdrop for doing the videos. Feed is good, no buffer yet. Thank you, man. Happy endings. Oh, Donald Collins. Hey, so does anybody have the answer to what Filipinos, the first thing Filipinos do after getting off an escalator or elevator? Anybody got that one? All right, we'll get back to you. Clambake, he asks, hey, Ned, can you recommend a good swimming pool in Dumaguete? Absolutely. The Tevez Aqua Center by the Capitol building is absolutely fantastic. It's a beautiful 50-meter pool. It's well maintained. It's usually the water's pretty clear. Not a whole lot of people use it. And it's $1 a day to use it. It used to be 50 cents to get in, but now it's $1. So, man, inflation here is just killing us. Quentong Balu, 1 week ago, he noted on the Dead Dog in the Girls Got Flair video, the calming music coupled with the dog corpse puts me in a tranquil place. Yeah, when I was editing that video, I got to that. I was going to do something different with the music, and I'm like, yeah, I don't got enough time. All right. 8-Bit Time Traveler. He's back, and he's continuing his comment on his first experiences in the Philippines. My day one in the Philippines. I was going to a place they call a market. It was the most disgusting place I went in all my life. I don't know how we can possibly buy some food there. It was stinking so bad. It was smelling like there were 30 dead bodies putrefying under the sun since a month. There were garbage and filth everywhere. I don't edit these. I'm reading this as he wrote it. Tons of flies on the meat they were selling. I saw a man who was sleeping on his back on a counter in front of all the customers, and everybody were looking like it's all normal and they're all used to it. So I asked someone why the F he is sleeping there. that's totally impolite. They simply told me that he's sleeping because he's tired because he woke up early this morning. He's probably one of the guys that delivers the food or something. He's sleeping on a counter because he's tired. That nearly killed me. Okay, son, Mr. 8-bit traveler, you got some low tolerance, man. I've encountered a lot of weird and sick situations like this. Everywhere I was going in this country, there was always some people sit down in the middle of nowhere doing nothing but waiting, chilling, or watching the cars passing. Where I live, even handicapped, disabled, and blind people are working or want to. In the Philippines, all excuses are good to do nothing. All right, so you didn't have a good first day. And it took me a little while. The public markets, you guys go to these public markets. The smell that horrible stench that you're sensing, that you're smelling, isn't actually coming from all the stuff that's on display, although it might contribute to it in some cases. It's actually coming because every night they hose down all those big marble counters that they have, all those cement counters, and it goes down underneath the public market space. There's grates down there, and it goes down there, and it just turns into basically a nasty miasma that tends to smell pretty bad. It doesn't seem to drain. A lot of public markets don't seem to have good drainage out from under where they do these washing out, so it gets a little rough. Going back. So Aloe, what do Filipinos do? Because Aloe's Filipino. Aloe, what do Filipinos do? First thing they do when they get off an elevator or a escalator. Come on, man. Yeah, Lucas, yeah, he is a baby. Yeah. And we're going to get into talking about babies with my own personal experience in just a bit. Not that kind of babies, being a baby. All right. Tom Aridge asks on a private message on YouTube, Ned, you keep talking about some of the bad things that you have learned about yourself since living in the Philippines. Do you care to expound on that? Sure. One of the things I learned about myself is how impatient, even after 4 years of living in the Philippines, how impatient I am with the way some things are done around here. Again, I'm projecting my Western expectations on a foreign nation in which I've decided and voluntarily moved to, and it's wrong. Because when you're engaged in a situation like that, if you're getting frustrated, you're going to feel bad. If you're interacting with a person who's causing the frustration, they're going to sense that, and they're going to feel bad. So it's a lose-lose scenario. I thought that over time, and I have gotten a lot better. You know, I have gotten a lot better, but I still haven't got to the point where I'm completely at peace with certain things. And what is also equally frustrating is the knowledge that, you know, things are the way they are here, and I can't fully adapt to it yet. And that just causes more stress. So that's one of the things. And the second one is one of the things I learned when I first came here. You guys go back to the video I did a long time ago on why I moved to the Philippines. There was 10 reasons, and one of them was lack of gratitude. I wasn't appreciating what I had, you know, living in a first world Western nation. I wanted more. I wasn't content, and trying to keep up with the Joneses and all that. And then when I first moved here, all you got to do is look around, and it makes you appreciate and be grateful for a lot of the things that you took for granted, and it really gives you a different perspective. But over the last 4 years, I'm again moving to that space, that place where I'm losing gratitude and I'm losing appreciation from what I have, and I want more. Like this whole drone thing. I'm going to be spending $1,200 on a drone, acquiring this material possession that hopefully I'll use. I mean, I am looking forward to it, and hopefully I can do something with. But yeah, I mean, and when you see other foreigners flipping out on Filipinos for whatever reason, you see them doing it, but you also know that your internal, if not your external response in the same situation is similar to that. You know, it's repulsive to watch, it's embarrassing to see, but a lot of times we suffer from the same behaviors. I did the video, Frankie Battaglia. He had the video of when he was in Ayala Mall in Cebu, and he was trying to find a Starbucks, and he was flipping out the entire time trying to find the Starbucks. And there's a couple times in the video I note that, you know, we've all been guilty of this. So those are the two things. Not becoming the patient, accepting person that I ideally want to be, and starting to lose some gratitude and some appreciation from what I got, you know. And there's no excuse for the latter. I mean, living where I live, man, there's no excuse for the latter. Sad. Sad, as Donald Trump would say. Sad. Evil Aloe says, Ned, stress causes baldness. No, genetics causes baldness. It's not my fault, man. Jerry, you're old. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Bussin' for fun. Are there any legal restrictions for using drones there? Or they might think you were doing something wrong or illegal. Dude, there's all kinds of, regulations and laws on the book. I don't know the answer to that, but I'm just going to do it anyways because there's not a whole lot of enforcement going on. John Danger, drink of choice, SML or Red Horse, Pilsen. Pilsen. M Digital Aggie, Ned, I'm excited to see your video from the drone. When will you get it online for us? It's out of stock right now in Cebu. They said they should have stock next week. So hopefully, yeah. My Johnson, thank you for that. So hopefully I'll have the drone next week and I'll start crashing it shortly thereafter. My Johnson says, you were lucky you weren't in Puerto Rico. Yeah, man. I was looking at some videos from Puerto Rico and some photos and still shots and stuff. And man, they got hammered. Hammered. But that happens in the Philippines all the time too. Tacloban, it's gone. Well, Tacloban, they're rebuilding it. But you remember the videos and the images from Tacloban right after that hit, and they were like literally giant fishing boats. Actually cargo boats. They weren't like pump boats or bancas. These were giant cargo boats right in the middle of the city from the storm surge. Shh, we don't got that shit in Boston, man. Lucas saw Bud Brown flying his drone at McDonald's yesterday. Yeah, my mom actually sent me an email. She's watching Bud Brown's videos now. She's a fan of Bud Brown. She said he's a very nice guy. And he is. Bud Brown is the nicest of all of us Philippine vloggers. All right. So yeah, that's me being a baby. When I was making the baby reference earlier, a lot of times, especially when it's hot, when I'm frustrated, and I just my tolerance, my patience is short, I turn into a freaking baby, man. I get straight up bitchy. My mangina erupts and it just gets from bad to worse. All right, and finally, Daniel Fuller on Facebook noted on the Aaron Wilson photograph. If you go to my Facebook page, when I announce this live stream, there's actually a picture of Aaron Wilson down in the bottom right-hand corner of the photo that's there. And Daniel said, that's the guy that predicted your rental would leave you. Now, you got to realize when he's saying rental, he's basically referring to my ex as a prostitute that I was paying. She did. Sad. With an exclamation mark, just like Donald Trump. Now this is your butthurt way of getting even. To which I responded to Daniel, hey, I have never insulted your mom for being a rental. That was very mature of me, huh? Back to being a baby. Daniel replied to me, he's got more hair. He forgot the I. He's got more hair and more pussy than you. To which I replied, actually, he's got a lot less hair than me. You can see the lack of it in the photo. I don't know what's going on with Aaron's hair there, but he's got like the Crypt Keeper thing going on. His hairline starts like here, and it's just long in the back. And that party at the video that he was in was mostly ladyboys. So he is probably getting more ass than me, not more pussy. But boom, boom, bam, and mic drop. So yeah, that's me being a baby. So those are some of the things, some of the bad things that I've learned about myself after being here. Bud Brown, if you go over to Bud Brown's channel, he's actually got a very good video up, and it's actually going kind of viral on how the Philippines has changed him. So you should check that out. And if the Philippines has changed you for the better or for the worse, and the Philippines has definitely changed me for the better in some ways, but I won't get that into that because we've been going on for like 40 minutes so far with me babbling away. Let's go back to the viewer comments. Aloe, stop saying that. Dang. What are you doing for All Saints Day? Nothing. Uh, Daniel Edwards knows life is funny, skies are sunny, bees make honey, who needs money? Monopoly. Yeah, somebody said, what is that? Refurb Maverick Pro 4K on Newegg for 779. Be patient and wait till you come to the United States. Yeah, but they're also having those problems with the lithium-ion batteries. And a guy recently got a drone in the United States, and the airline gave him a very hard time. And he actually had to send it separately, which was probably air travel anyways, because he had the lithium-ion batteries. But that's a good price, because here it's going to be about 1,200. It's going to be about 1,200 bucks for the Flymore. Jerry, Evil Aloe is telling Jerry, you're too damn old to have a kid. Hey man, I know 70-year-old dads here. Certified. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Mavic. I still have the toy drone that Bud Brown gave me that I crash. The battery only lasts like 4 minutes on it though. You can only do like 4 minutes of flight. Roger Jr. says, are you still working out at the gym? If so, how often, weekly, and how much does it cost? I'm searching for a gym now near my place. I did belong to the gym at Portal East, but I now belong to Pete's Fitness, which is right across from the National Capitol building. It's about 1,000 pesos a month. The air conditioning isn't that great. There's a lot of posters of guys in thongs, bodybuilders, all over the place. Very few. It's kind of sexist because there's not many posters of women in bikinis. But it's good. I work out about three times a week. I'm actually trying to lose weight, so I'm doing more swimming. I'm trying to get under 200 pounds. Right now I'm at about 203, 202. Because I'm at the age now that I just can't be carrying around extra weight, man. Okay, Roger Jr. says DJI stores on the 5th floor. Yeah, Metro Manila. I should actually contact them too and see if they got it in stock. Because I think the shipping's going to be about the same. Yeah, and Lucas says Portal East is 1,200 pesos a month. It is. And it is. It's a nice gym. The employees over there are very nice. The air conditioning's better than Pete's, and there's not as many posters of men wearing G-strings and making you feel muscularly inadequate. Jerry Gamboni to Evil Aloe. Unlike you, I don't need Viagra. Us Italians are stallions. Hey, don't be getting on Aloe. And if anybody brings up Aloe's purse, the infamous purse, I'm gonna ban them immediately. Philly in the Philippines asks, Ned, what are your thoughts on the Rouser RS200? I don't know that one. That must be the new one with the dual headlights. It looks cool. It's probably got a lot of power. The Kawasaki Rouser NS200 I know a lot about. It's a really powerful bike. It's very capable. It's got the front and rear disc brakes, but it's just for the type of driving I do. It's not practical. Evil Aloe says, can't carry the extra weight. Get rid of the nose. Ha ha ha, Evil Aloe. Dude, how come you haven't been doing any videos? Oh my God, it's the Great Supreme Leader. Oh my God, what men wearing G-strings, that's a gym I'll stay away from. Yeah, it's a little weird. But you got to understand, Pete the owner was a competitive Filipino bodybuilder. Guy's jacked. And it's all like photos of him and his friends when they were competing. Neil, hey Ned, do you plan to learn the language? I know a little bit of Bisaya. I can understand it a lot better than I can speak it. I can follow the gist of a conversation. But what's funny is whenever you try to speak Bisaya, they always laugh at your accent. You know, no matter how good your accent gets, they always laugh at you. But conversely, again with that amor proprio and shame thing, if you ever kind of make fun of a Filipino accent, they get very upset. Yeah, Lucas has my 200 NS now. It's a badass machine, man. If you're going on long trips, going on long rides, it's great. But I don't. I go for short rides, you know, zipping around the island, going to the gym, going shopping, all that stuff. All right, 118 people watching. Thank you guys for keeping it civil in the comments section. I'm not going to tell you to smash the like button because I really don't care. This isn't going to be monetized anyways. Uh, the cooling the house video I did is actually getting a lot of traction. I think it's got like 70,000 views. And that's actually like an important video. I spent a lot of time actually putting that video together. And that's important because you got to stay cool, man. My life has changed for the better so much since the installation was installed up here, the NEPA carport was constructed, and the trees have grown around the house. Yep, Evil Aloe, thank you. Appreciate it. And next week I'll be doing the live stream on This Week in the Philippines, talking about all the local news and stuff that's going on that could affect our lives. Subscribe, share, do all that fun stuff. And again, if you have a smaller channel or you have some really cool experiences, funny stories or something like that, submit them to me. Let me throw them up on my website, man. Yeah. Great Supreme Leader says, I tried, but he's talking about learning Bisaya, but every time I tried to say something in Bisaya, they would answer me in English, so I figured what's the point. Yeah, Evil Allah, you were Swiss once. You got the weirdest accent. Hey, Evil Allah, one last thing before I go. You ever heard that World of Warcraft raid video? It was a raid that was conducted in World of Warcraft. And there was this guy screaming. He was the raid leader, and he was freaking out, and he was taking DK, dragon points or something away from people because they weren't doing what he was saying. He freaked out. You sound exactly like that guy. Matter of fact, the first time I heard you on YouTube, I'm like, holy shit, it's the Dragon Raid guy from World of Warcraft. Also, Mrs. Heminger. Mrs. Heminger, also known as New Life in Philippines, and if you want to see something interesting, do a Google search, New Life in Philippines, all one word, New Life in, not the Philippines, Philippines. I like to do an interview with you, so on your experiences in the Philippines, because I remembered, and if anybody remember this guy, New Life in the Philippines, Mrs. Heminger, he had a video up, there was a couple of them. He had come to Manila, I believe, or Angeles, and he met this bar girl, and she said that she was going to be with him and she was going to be loyal and all that stuff. And I guess she wasn't, and I guess she ripped him off some money. And he filmed a video talking about his experiences, his terrible experience in getting scammed by this terrible woman. He was aiming the camera out the window of his hotel down towards the street so you couldn't actually see his face. But Mrs. Heminger, you are formally and cordially invited to do an interview on my channel. Just send me an email at myphilippinedreams@gmail.com. Daryl Ferrant says, hey, thanks, Ned. You're my first Philippine vlogger, and now I'm married. I blame all your good advice. All right. Evil Allah is all that channel. All right, everybody. Again, thanks for watching and keeping it civil. Like, subscribe, dislike, do all that stuff. And I'll see you next time. I got to go to the gym. Work on these guns, man, because my guns are shrinking. Yeah. Take it easy.